I think we're live. I hope we're live. So join us on the chat. We would love to have you join us on the chat. We want to let you know right up front about all our great sponsors, the ones that hey, they're bringing us to you. We appreciate each and every one of them. Of course, Nikki Mays, College Sports Unlimited. Hey, getting ready to debut the new app, and not only is it going to have some great college stuff on there, you'll be able to get all your scores, updates, communicate with everybody. But you high school kids out there that want to get your information out, not a better way to do it than getting in front of the college coaches, scouts, fans, people who would watch your game, whatever sport. Nikki's got it set up at College Sports Unlimited. CSU, it's coming out. If you follow us on Facebook or let's see, know your friend on Facebook, you follow on Twitter. Is that right? Is that right? Well, anyway, I don't know if I'm doing this chat thing right. So if somebody out there wants to do me a favor, I think I've screwed something up. Maybe you can send me a text or an email or something like that. Anyway, also want to let you know about Karen Johnson. She takes care of all of our merchandise, all of our clothing that we're starting up with Greg's Gear. We'll obviously be letting you know about that for years. You know, we've always had T-shirts and things like that at tournaments, and people buy them. It's cool. And then we'll get an email. Greg, I forgot to buy. Hey, thanks, Merritt. Merritt Schumann checks in, lets me know my chat works on the live show. Thank you, Merritt. Appreciate you, buddy. But yeah, Karen Johnson up in Nebraska. She's a Husker fan, but she's really a Texas A&M Aggie fan. And so Karen, I always say Karen's like the female me. You watch Seinfeld, right? Remember when Jerry found a girl that was a female Jerry, and she was too much alike? Well, Karen Johnson is the female Greg, okay? Because she is a football fanatic. She is a fan of her school. She has grandchildren that she dotes on, and they're always number one. Always one. The grandkids are number one. My grandkids have a football game this afternoon. I would love to go to it. Of course, a little bit of travel involved. And, oh, man, this heat is really killing me. Killing me. I'm ready for some fall football weather. How about you? Scott Hammer, cruise planners. If you're going to take a vacation, and by the way, we'll have information on all of these folks, all of our sponsors at gregswaim.com, on Twitter, and on X at gswaim, of course on Facebook, all the places that you go to, your daily watering holes. We will have all of their information for you. So if you want a vacation, if you want to get recruited, if you want to get some gear, we're going to have gear, of course, with Karen Johnson. And Scott Hammer, of course. Scott Hammer has been our guy he's been with us for a long time. We appreciate Scott. Big BYU fan. Matter of fact, follow Scott on Twitter and Facebook, and you'll see pictures that, at BYU games, obviously. Him and his daughter had a picture together at the game Saturday night. That was late. Man, that was late. I had to drink pop to stay away. Well, I don't drink pop, but a Red Bull or something like that. Of course, Helping Hands, Ray of Sunshine, our good friends Mark and Cindy Welch. They take care of mom and dad when mom and dad aren't quite ready to go to the assisted living. They want to stay in their home, obviously, but they need some help. And we're going to get right in the chat because that's what we do here. The show is about you. And Merritt Schumann says, want to hear your best overreactions you've seen to week one. Ooh, there are too many to probably go over, Merritt, because everybody's freaking out. Even the teams that won but didn't win by as much as they want to, i.e. my alma mater. Wearing this today for the Pokes. Everybody's down on the Poke. That's fine. That's fine. I got a feeling you didn't see a fraction of the playbook Saturday night, but that's probably true for a lot of teams. Unfortunately, teams playing Casper the Ghost that caught them by surprise. Texas Tech blew a big lead in Wyoming, got beat by the. I don't like this. How do you? By the way, let me get on this here. Okay, New Mexico State's called the Aggies, but they have a mascot that resembles Pistol Pete from Oklahoma State. Same for Wyoming. And here's the deal: if you're going to copy a Cowboy, is really after a guy, a real guy. His name was Frank Eaton. He was a U.S. Marshal. One of those deals like an old Clint Eastwood movie. They kill his father when he's young, so he learns how to shoot and be the best shooter. He goes and gets every one of them, right? Real story, real guy. So, I mean, if you're just copying a generic cowboy and it was Oklahoma State, no problem. But this is a real guy. I mean, I will bet if you go to the University of Wyoming games and New Mexico State Aggie games, if you ask those folks what who their guy, their mascot resembles, who he's based on, they've never heard of Frank Eaton. Everybody in Stillwater has, but anyway, water under the bridge. I think they won. OSU won the lawsuit. Just didn't get paid very much. But overreactions, Merritt, there have been a lot of them. But like if you won and you won by one over Casper the Ghost, feel good because a lot of teams didn't win over Casper the Ghost. Merritt also says, think room for some chaos. It's going to shake out, though, not overreacting just yet. Good. Yeah, don't overreact. Hey, a win's a win's a win. Listen, here's what's happening. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. The NIL and the portal have really changed things, and not in the way most of us really thought it would happen. I thought, as most people did, the rich are going to get richer, right? Because they got the money. They got the prestige. Alabama, Georgia, whatever. But no, listen, I'm not. What I'm seeing is a lot of kids going into the portal, which happened before. That for whatever reason, I don't know who told them to go in the portal, but they did. And then all of a sudden, it's like, nobody's calling me. You know, it's like, okay, it's like you break up with your longtime girlfriend. Everything's been great, but you want to explore a little bit. So you say, honey, sorry, I love you, but we're going to break up, or something to that extent. And you look around and none of the girls really like you very much. They're not calling. They found out you broke up. You thought the phone would start ringing off the wall, right? No, it doesn't. And I think these kids get bad advice because they're kids and they listen to adults. Probably, unfortunately, a lot of the adults in their life they should not listen to, but they do. And they go ahead and get in the portal and then find out nobody wants them. That's a bad deal. And you got nowhere to go. And let's say you play for a Big 12 school and you leave thinking, oh, the SEC and the Big 10 are going to light me up. I got to go somewhere. Who's got a spot open this late? Well, the G5s. So you go to a G5 and your buddy goes to a G5. And the guy you went to high school with that looked up to you goes to a G5 because he's pretty good, but he's not, he's not the best player in the world. But all of a sudden now G5s have talent. And G5s, by the way, get 85 scholarships too. It's not like FCS. FCS gets 63. I don't know why 63. Why not 60 or 65? I'm sure it has something to do with Title IX, as everything does. But listen, the G5s are better than they've been. They're getting guys that could be playing at P5s, P4s, whatever. So they're getting stronger. And you got to be real careful when you schedule, because some of the teams like Baylor really got beaten every which way by, what was that, Texas State. You know, there's some good teams. UTSA, some of these schools in Texas that are G5s are really, really good. Really good. Now, they may not have the depth, but their starters pretty good. And they have a little bit of advantage when they go in beginning of the year playing at a P4, formerly P5s, because they think this is going to be an easy game, right? We'll just roll. We'll just roll over Texas State. We'll just roll over UTSA. They're little bitty G5s, no problem. And they beat you. And that happened more this opening week 1. I know we had week 0, but that's kind of we're having fun. No, there's more parity than there's ever been. I think from the top of P4 to the bottom of P4, it's closer because kids want to go where they. Started 3 years at Oklahoma State, really good teams, won bowls, yada, yada, yada. And Spencer goes, test the waters too. Well, then after about a month of practice for the bowl that the kid's been working hard on at OSU, Spencer comes back and he says, hey, I didn't really find what I want, Coach Gundy. Can I come back? Mike goes, no, you can come back, but you can't play the bowl game. I mean, these kids have been working out for a month. You've been running around town, running around the country, checking out other schools. So that's what happened there. That's why Spencer Sanders isn't going to play much at Ole Miss. He got some mop-up time, because they played Casper. But no, you're not. Listen, I think kids are going to finally get it down here. All the horror stories about the 2/3 of players that left their teams looking for another home. Wow, I don't have a home. Those words are starting to get around. And I'm going to advise every kid who's talking about transfer portal, buddy, you better get seriously paid with NIL. That's the two-headed monster. The transfer portal has always been there. In other words, kids could always transfer. They just had to sit out a year, which isn't really a bad deal because you're going to a new school, you're learning a new system, all that. But it's going for 1 year. Why spend 2 years for 1 year playing? Yeah. So the NCAA said, well, you can go transfer willy-nilly, no reason given, whatever. You used to have to give a reason, and then coaches go, okay, I'm going to release you to this school, but I'm not going to release you to OU because we play them. They're in our conference, or were. And so that's what's happening. Merritt chimes back in. We'd love to get yours as well. I think we're in for some chaos. It's going to shake out. Not overreacting. Yeah, he said that. I'm sorry. I read that earlier. But, man, I'm floored at some of these kids, what they're doing. Oh, red and blue and white, Robert France. Hey, says, hey, Greg. Well, hey, Robert, appreciate your checking in. And second show yesterday, probably a mistake on my part, doing it on a holiday. I mean, everybody is. So today's really kind of our first day. Yesterday was kind of intro day, whatever. Letting you know about our new sponsors. We're so excited to have them. Cowboy Brad checks in. Let's see. Overreacted to Gunner Gundy at first in the OSU game, but then he played and looked better than I thought, though there may be some extenuating circumstances. Thoughts, Greg? Yeah, I mean, he played okay. To me, when they do the close-up on his face, when he's getting ready to take the snap, he looks a little sheepish, a little scared. Is that just me? Because I've asked other people, no, I don't know. That's one of my middle sons who watches football religiously, and he said, no, I don't know. I think he's okay. Now, he did get in there when the game was on the line. It was 10-7, I think, when he went in there, and they went to the running game. That's what Oklahoma State wants to do more. Keep the defense fresh longer. Of course, the new rules will help with that a little bit, shortens the game. I think that was part of the scenario. But yeah, I'm not as down on this once I went back and looked at it. And so now, am I, Gunnar Gundy got there in the fourth quarter to win the Central Arkansas, UCA. Their team was probably gassed a little bit. They're not going to have the depth as others do because they don't have as many scholarships and they're a smaller school. Robert says, sorry for being late. Hey, no problem, my man. I may be late sometime. You never know. Adam D checks in. Go Utes, beat Baylor. Oh, I think that's a given. It will go over. Hey, by the way, every Friday, and I'm going to let you know more about him as the week goes on, but every Friday we will have our sports handicapper on. He is terrific. He's got a package too that he'll help you with all his best games for it's like $75 for the entire year. That's a bet you'd make, and that's a bet you're going to win because he's got a 68% winning percentage in college games over a long history. I'll go through some of that with him on Friday, but each Friday, man, those of you who wager on games, sports wagering is legal anywhere in the United States as long as the state okays it. Now, Oklahoma hadn't done that yet. Kansas and some others around the country, and but yeah, I think gambling is going to be legal sports wagering everywhere here pretty soon. And we'll let you know. I'm kind of hiding him out a little bit because I don't want somebody else to grab him. But yeah, thank Merritt, Robert, Cowboy Brad, and Adam D for jumping in. Man, I didn't even know if I had a chat. I may have had it off yesterday, but I was flipping some buttons, so it happens. I'm one of those. Speaking of Baylor in Utah, I think Utah wins. Regardless, you can put me at quarterback and then still have a chance. Fortunately, they got two really good backup quarterbacks. One guy's a little better at running, one guy's a little better at pass, but between the two, and you say you got two quarterbacks, you have one. Well, they got one. They've got a big time quarterback in Cam Rising with the Utes, but he's still lingering injuries from the Rose Bowl when he tore his ACL. So hope that young man gets on the field. He is fun to watch. And Colorado. Yep, Colorado all of a sudden may be part of the plan in the Pac-12 in their last year. They're going to have a bunch of good teams. I'm kind of surprised for you Cowboy and Sun Devil fans out there. I'm kind of surprised Oklahoma State is only a 3-point favorite. Ooh, I'd jump all over that. I would jump all over that. Take the pokes, give the points. You're only having to give 3 points. That's almost a virtual pick 'em. Let's see here. Robert says, I'm upset with Penn State's kicker for missing kicks. Yep. And that's one thing we're going to talk about too. When you wager on a game, friendly wager, bigger wager, maybe you're going to run up across the border and go to one of their casinos and make a bet. You can do that. But I've always had a philosophy on that, and I'm really going to get into that this year. You want to win, right? The other teams are trying to win. They're not necessarily trying to beat the point spread. At least they better not be. And that's why I quit going with point spreads years ago with money line. Money line basically says, okay, you can bet on either team to win, but if you bet on the favorite, your odds aren't as good. You're not going to make as much money, right? So, yeah, if it's a virtual pick 'em, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, go with money line because teams are always trying to win by just one. They're not trying to beat a spread. Yeah, he said missed 2 kicks, so that would have been 6 points easy. Yeah. I mean, that's just it. But they still won the game. So if you'd have bet them on the money line, you win. Just not as much as you do if you bet with the spread, right? I'm learning this as I go. We're going to learn a lot about that. Even if you're just, you're not even gambling, but you're playing in pools. Like a lot of people get those 20 sheet pick or 20 game pick'ems, and you just pick the winners and put some money in the pot. And at the end of the weekend, the guy that wins the most games gets the money, right? That's how we did it in college anyway. Some of you may do it in an office pool, stuff like that. So it happens. Okay. Once again, let you know about our sponsors. Our corporate guys, our corporate sponsors, of course, are Wendy's, which we love Wendy's, and they got a new burger. Oh my gosh. I haven't even tried the new burger yet, but they've had some really good ones over the last couple of years. Make me go off my diet, lose my girlish figure, right? But yeah, Wendy's and then DoorDash. And DoorDash got big for us during the lockdown, when we were all in our homes and couldn't go get food anywhere, but every once in a while you want something different. Yeah, DoorDash. I love DoorDash. It is so often I'm working here at home and I can't get away and I don't even have time to make myself food. And I just go on my app, DoorDash, boom, boom, boom. Usually Wendy's, because I love Wendy's. And they're a good sponsor. And yeah, good stuff. Yeah, Robert says my spread guesses were pretty good last year, and girlish figure don't make me laugh. Slam. Well, I got somebody's figure. It's not the one I want. Am I preaching to the choir here? Okay, good. Okay, a couple guys texted me. We'll get to those too. I appreciate it during the show. If it's not a text, if you come on the chat line. And by the way, you hear this on everybody else's show, but go ahead and like the show. Or if you don't like it, it's still, I guess I get bonus points just because you're watching enough to not like it, right? So like it or not like it. But the big thing is go ahead and subscribe. That's big, because if you subscribe and we get our numbers up, I think in one day we got like 40 subscribers. I don't know if that's good or not, but I know we, by the way, I want to thank all of you, because most of you follow us on Twitter at GSwame, X, not Twitter, X. And we hit the 75,000 mark the other day. So I was pretty happy about that. And that's good for our advertisers too, because not only are our sponsors advertised on the show here, and we'll have graphics and, little graphics and things like that. We'll have our sponsors on those here pretty soon. I've got a guy working on that. H&H Prods jumps in. I assume that's H&H Productions, maybe. I'm here. I appreciate your being here, H&H. And I hope you're here every weekday at 1 o'clock Central Time. So adjust accordingly, whether you're Eastern, Central, Mountain, or Pacific Time. Robert says, hell, I even hit the like button. Come on, guys. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been watching enough YouTube shows from my peers here over the last month or so to find out what I like and what I don't like. And we're transitioning into some of those things. But yeah, I hope you like the show, first of all. But if you don't, you can put don't like. But the big thing is subscribe. And go ahead and just click that like or dislike button every day when you come in. And hey, it's not going to cost you anything, right? We don't even have the subscription stuff up here yet. They're not subscription, but the subscriptions are free. You can subscribe to us. It's free. You can hit the notification bell so that, like every day as we get close to 1 o'clock, it'll ring your bell and let you know we got a show getting ready to come on. And we'll do that Monday through Friday, every Monday through Friday right here on the Greg Swaim Show. Also, one of our other sponsors is me. Big Time Sports. Yeah, we have those big basketball tournaments And coming up this spring, 7-on-7 football tournaments. Basketball we've been doing since 1988. So we've been doing them a long time. We have had for years, we've had kids of the parents grew up playing in our events back in the late 80s, early 90s. And their kids have been playing in our events. This year, we're getting grandkids of the original group 35, 36 years ago. So pretty excited about that. And you can sign up for any of our tournaments. Just go to gregswain.com and click tournaments. It's that easy. Sign up, $75. Nobody beats that. And we thank our sponsors because they're a large part of that. Because of our sponsorship and our corporate sponsors of DoorDash and Wendy's, we can go ahead and keep our prices a lot cheaper. Nobody's going to be $75 for a tournament. Nobody. The problem with that is $75 tournaments tend to fill up really, really fast. So this weekend, the next weekend, and the next weekend are already full. The next one we have availability for is in Oklahoma City on the 30th. Okay. And then all of October, November, December are still open, but some of them won't be much longer. So get in there. Robert says, did you see the FSU LSU game? Yes, that was a WTF game for LSU. Yeah, I thought early on that they would be fine. And then Florida State, and by the way, that's our topic du jour, topic of the day. We're going to talk about what 4 teams. I know it's early. We'll do this every week on Tuesday, but maybe Monday. What 4 teams right now do you have in? Go ahead and chat those in. Your 4 teams, if I held a gun to your head, made you happy, what are the 4 teams that look the best? And I'm kind of open on this. Florida State would be one of those teams that right now I'd be likely to put in. Georgia, the Ohio State Michigan winner, although Penn State, is in there too. USC. Hey, if Utah gets Rising back, which I assume they will at some point, man, they're good. They're real good. They look that's pretty awesome the other day, didn't they? Yeah, they did. As far as Florida State looks really good, LSU's not as good as maybe we thought. But then again, there's so much parity going on. I think they're smart enough to pull this off, but the NFL's figured it out. Hey, if every team's close to 500, instead of you having 17-0 teams and 0-17 teams, that doesn't do anything for anybody. We want them all to be competitive towards the end of the season, filling up stadiums, watching TV, making that revenue. Anyway, let's see. H&H says Utah's in mine already for number 4. Okay. Yeah, and whoever wins the Pac-12, if they're undefeated, they will get in. Mark it down. No, they will get in, because here's the deal. The ACC is in trouble now because one of your 2 or 3 marquee teams just got beat, and they didn't look very good doing it. So Robert says Georgia, Florida State, Penn State is my dark horse, Michigan and Utah. So you're saying Georgia, FSU, Michigan, and Utah, and then 4 different conferences, with Penn State being your dark horse. Now, I got no problem with that at all. And I think Michigan, until Ohio State does it, you got to pick Michigan, right? Utah's won the Pac-12 twice in a row. I think they'll make it 3. It'll come down to them and USC. But there's now all of a sudden Colorado throws a monkey wrench into that because they're good. Now, how good are they? Is TCU just fall off it? No, I think TCU's still pretty good. A 9-3, 10-2 team, possibly. We'll see. Clemson looked like trash. Yes, they did, Robert. They look bad. And to be honest with you, watching that game, particularly from the second half on, when they got that touchdown return on the opening kick of the second half, I thought, this is kind of crazy. And then you saw the turnovers, And 2 times in a row, Florida State just drove right down the field. The one time they missed the field goal, the other time they – an interception or a fumble, I can't remember. And so I went into the end of the game thinking, well, yeah, Duke won, but it's because of turnovers. It really wasn't. It was only 3-2 on the turnover margin. Now, Florida State dominated the stats, possession, first downs, all that stuff. But once again, what's on the scoreboard, 28-7, wasn't that close. Was not that close. Yeah, we'll get text here. We'll wait for a chat. Once again, texters, I appreciate it, but because we used to do that on the radio show. So I get it. We'll transition you. And I'm texting each one of these guys to go ahead and join us on the chat, or we just won't do their stuff. Greg, how Cowboy basketball team going to be? I'm probably the wrong one to ask. I'm kind of down on the Cowboy basketball program right now. I can't. I mean, I follow recruiting for a living and have for 35, 36 years. And I can't get that excited. I just think they're kind of in a rut. They've missed 6 out of the last 7 with Mike Boynton. I think he's got to make the tournament this year, don't you? You don't make the tournament this year, thanks. It was a good try, Coach. Okay. Let's see. Robert says Duke's a lower team in the conference. It's on the up, but I don't expect that to happen. No, probably not. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, the 800-pound elephant or gorilla in the room is what's going to happen with the ACC. I mean, we're basically done with this round of conference realignment. The only thing we're really waiting on is where Washington State and Oregon State are going to go. And oh, by the way, you know how these teams are like, oh, we're never going to leave the Pac-12. We love the Pac-12. It's the best thing since sliced bread. And then they all left, except for 2 that had nowhere to go in the P4. So it'll be interesting to see where those 2 end up going. But it'll be the Mountain West. But will it be called the Pac-12? Will it be called something different? I don't know. They're really wanting to keep that Pac-12 logo and all that. There may be something legal with that, but, man, you don't want to have Klykov as your want that. Okay. Robert says PSU basketball might be interesting with Coach Rhodes in his home state as a voter of his father. When I lived there, I'm rooting for him to do good for PSU basketball. You know, basketball's been pretty good. We had a young man a couple years ago out of Glencoe, Oklahoma, which is really close to Stillwater. Little bitty Class B school. They were Class A. And they had a young man, Coach Lazenby's son, Ty, and he was playing JUCO ball at Northern in Enid, and he had a really good tournament. And all of a sudden, the whole free world was lighting up because there aren't very many guys left at that point. And OU offered him, Penn State offered him, Oral Roberts, Tulsa, some others. He turned down Penn State, and I think he wished he would have gone there because that's when they turned it around and went to the tournament. And so I think Penn State's going to be a pretty good basketball program, and I like Coach Rhodes as well. Okay. Other things going on. We were going to talk about this. The topic of the day, of course, is what 4 teams, and I know it's early, and we'll do this every week after the games, but where do you have, what 4 teams right now do you really like for the tournament? If you had $100 and you had to split that $100 up based on who you thought was going to get in and all that, and you're going to put 25 on each of them, what 4 teams do you put them on to get into the playoffs? It's a blue. Well, one of the teams on the logo or the graphic I used for this show upcoming, I had 10 logos of teams I thought had a chance. And that was before Clemson got beat. So take them out because they're done. And that's one thing that's wrong with the current playoff system and why we need 12. I say 16, but 12's a lot better than 4. You lose that first game against the G5, particularly, or you lose to a Duke 28-7, you're basically done. I mean, you could get in, but you're going to have to win all your games. You're going to have to look very impressive doing it. There's no room for error, and the error probably already happened. Because if anybody else goes 12-0, they're going to pass you, right? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of the current playoff system. I'd like to go to 16, but I will take 12 for sure. Okay, other things going on. And we may have some new sponsors here in the next couple of days. I'll let you know. We're pretty loaded up, but I can always add more. And like I said, where all these graphics are now, we will have all of our sponsors probably at the top. I've got a couple. By the way, good segue. Reminder, YSCS. Remember that, YSCS. Am I doing that right? Wait. I'm blowing a brain cell here, but it happens. Trying to remember, we have a network of friends. Golden Blue Dude would have been in this deal. You guys know Golden Blue Dude, and such a good guy. And I had just met him 2 weeks before he passed. He asked me to be on his show. I was on his show. Was going to have him on this one, but of course we can't do that now. But he was such a good guy. He was so into this, and he would have loved the Pac-12. You know that follow us on Twitter. The little wars we had with, I call them the Three Stooges, John Wilner, John Canzano, and we call him Clownzano, and Tony Altimore. Those guys, especially Tony Altimore, good God. No way. There's no Pac-12 school that's even going to pick up the phone when Yormark calls. And we kept telling him, dude, it's already happening. This was a year ago. I'm like, who are you clowns? I mean, I talk to people every day who told me what's going on in the conversations with your Pac-12 presidents. Yeah, they're covering their butts because they're saying publicly we want to stay in the Pac-12, but they know the handwriting was on the wall. It was already there. We knew Colorado was coming 6 months ago. Go check our Twitter page. We already posted it. And the rest would follow after that. So, yeah, Golden Blue Dude and I would have had a beer over that one. That would have been good. Really good. Let's see how the 12 team do before we go to 16. No, that's fair. I just want to make sure he doesn't get half of them, right? Whatever we go to. Robert said, I knew Golden Blue Dude pretty well. Sad that he is gone. R.I.P. Golden Blue Dude. Oh, absolutely. He's just such a good guy. And when you first watched him, he got you with his craziness. But it was beyond crazy. It was a passion. I mean, the guy had a passion. Love it. Absolutely love the guy. And then to lose him like that was just heartbreaking. The funny thing is Tony still has me blocked. Yeah, got me blocked too. I mean, I haven't seen anything he's posted in months other than the last thing I saw him to some extent was he was always saying, who are these idiots that are posting? They're doing you a disservice by making you think that the Pac-12 might even talk to the Big 12, let alone join them. Dude, we had sources you couldn't even dream of. And they were sources that you should have being a Pac-12 guy, right? Didn't have it. Tony Altimore, you're a fool. And Kansas, Wilner, I should leave him alone a little bit because out of those three, he's clearly the most sensible and a real journalist. Clownzano is just a freaking joke. He wanted to fight everybody. But Tony Altimore, oh my gosh. That guy is such a clown. I can't remember the name of Mark Rogers. Good guy. But whatever, he has way too many members on his show. He just brings anybody on his show. And I couldn't do those shows anymore. And he's not going to call me because of my battle with Tony Altimore, who apparently is his best bud. So we just don't mess with that stuff. Golden Blue dude was great. Love lies with him trying to cool him down because he would almost go off the deep end. Yeah, but that's what we love, right? I mean, we're all like that. I'm no different from any of you. I'm passionate about the game. I love my team. Now, maybe I've been in the media so long where I've been, because those of you who knew me in college, I have the guy who married us, Mike Dawes, who married Paula and I 33 years ago. He had seen me on TV before he met me. And when I say see me on TV, apparently it was an OU OSU basketball game, and I had great seats, right on the center court, fourth row up, so I could see both benches and everything. And I was in grad school. And I guess the camera, as they were going to break, did a close-up on my face. And you didn't have to be a lip reader to understand what I was saying. Okay, let's put it that way. My campus preacher saw this. He didn't know me yet, but he saw me. I recognize that guy. What's he saying? Oh my gosh. Well, he came up, introduced himself. We've been friends now for, 35, 36, 37 years. And he said, man, the first time I saw you, I got to meet that guy. And he's a preacher, right? But he's like passionate. I want to be around people who are passionate about the game. What I can't stand is being around people, and I shouldn't say this when we get in trouble. Whatever. You go to like Thanksgiving dinner and you're around a bunch of people who are just real lukewarm about sports. And they don't, like my wife's sister has 4 sons, all at OU. And then my brother-in-law has 3 kids, all at OU. And they're all super smart kids, love them to death. They go to that other school, which is great. Now I would love to, if we got a good season going on heading into Thanksgiving and we're getting ready to play, I want to dig in. That's what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about something stupid. I want to talk about sports, right? Bedlam. And if they're not really into that, then it is what it is. And I want people around me who are passionate, even if they're with the other team and we're going to argue. I'd rather have that than, hey, we're going to beat you guys this Saturday. Yeah, you probably will. Now, that's not their fault. They just don't like sports like I do. I do it for a living, so I really love it. But you do too, or you wouldn't be here. That's what we do, and we love it. Want to think about, I know I'm missing something else. I need to write stuff down, don't I? Anyway, you can join us, of course, on the chat line, the entire show. And, of course, the rest of the time, the other 23 hours a day, go to X, formerly Twitter, G Swain. It's that simple. And ask me anything. Tell me anything. Tell me off. I don't care. Okay. And Robert says, I love talking about defense. I get under the skin of West Virginia fans. Yeah. And Robert says, some of you guys may remember me because my little girl would pop up during the live stream when I was talking to Golden Blue Dude. And I got to be honest with you, I watched Golden Blue Dude more in that 2 weeks when we first met. And it's funny how we met. And he told the story, and you can go back to, it was like a week or two before he passed, and he had me on his show. But the reason he had me on his show was because I was watching his show, I wasn't yet. One of my guys that's been, on my show forever and ever, his Golden Blue guy is talking about you. But he's pronouncing my name, which, believe me, I'm used to that, whole lifetime of that. I've had professors go, first day when they're reading that name, Schwarm, they're throwing in CHs and R's that aren't even there. It's like, it's real easy. It's AIM with SW in front of it. Swing, right? And so he mispronounced my name, and somebody told me. So I flipped it over, and I'm watching it, and he said it again. So I just sent him a private message. Hey, appreciate the pub, man. Look forward to meeting you. Love your show, blah, blah, blah. By the way, it's Swain. He felt bad about that. I didn't want him to feel bad about it, but he got hold of me, said, can you come on my show? So we come on. We had a great time, and you can still watch it. It's out there. It's Good Gold Blue, dude. And he apologized for that. It's like, but it was great because if he doesn't do that, I don't know if we ever meet. And we lost him 2 weeks later. So, yeah, I feel good about that. Robert says, when I say my girl, that's my dog. Okay, I got you. I thought you meant your little girl too. So I didn't get to watch all of his shows. I knew about him, but I really didn't, and because he was so out there in a good way, a passionate way, you tend to go, oh, because there's a lot of those guys, but this guy knew what he was talking about, and he really had a lot of this right before it even happened. So I'm used to my last name being mispronounced because it's German. Well, there you go. France, I'm sure it's France, right? Am I right, Robert? France? Okay. If not, let me know. So I want to say your name right because it doesn't really irritate me when people get my name wrong, but you'd think professors would be able to see SW. Maybe it's harder than I thought. Apparently it is. And then, of course, everybody wants to put an N as in Norman instead of M as in Mike, right? Because that's apparently a lot more common name. Let's see. Nope. Robert says nope. So I didn't say that right. France? No. Write it out phonetically for me so I know. Anyway. Okay. Got another text. Greg, I will join you in the chat tomorrow. I just didn't have time to log in. So I know you're going on live right now. What do you think about Oklahoma? Well, I think they're good. They played Casper the Ghost, right? So when you play Casper the Ghost, accept the win and be happy because I'm not sure you get much out of that. Personally, because the G5s are stronger now, and the SES is getting stronger because there's so many players out there, and they can't all go to Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State, right? So they go other places, so you're going to get some good guys that are probably too good to be playing on that team. And one or two guys, as we saw with Colorado, 3 guys can make a real difference. By the way, the Colorado story kind of sucks all the oxygen out of the room as far as talking college football does. It's a great story. Great story. The second way you pronounced it was right. So France with the T sound, not Franz, but France. Hope I got that right. Anyway, Robert, I think is telling me I did. Okay, one potential sponsor we may have, but they want to watch a little bit, and that's more than fair. Obviously, you should watch the show. Here we go. Whoops. Might help if I put the logo in the front here. Red Bull. We're talking to them. You talking to tell me how to sponsor the Greg Swain Show because Swain drinks his Red Bull. Here, I'll do it right here. It keeps me awake, keeps me fired up on the show, which I don't really need any help for that. But not a lot of it, but a little bit of get you where you need to be. Good stuff. Robert says, give it time, Slam. It'll flow off your tongue easily. France. Hope I got that right, Robert. Good stuff. Appreciate all you chatters, and let's get that chat thing going. Text your friends, email your friends, give them the link to the show. Tell them to join us every Monday through Friday, 1:00 p.m. Central Time. Good stuff. Got a few more minutes here, and you can jump in on the chats. Love to have you. Hey, we just started the show yesterday, so we're growing it. It's taking time. Would love to have your help. Go ahead when I put something out on Twitter or Facebook or wherever you're at. Go ahead and just retweet it or whatever. You'd be my best friend. H&H says, yeah, we'll do. Tell your folks I said hi. Absolutely. And Robert again says, when we talk, you will get it. My last name easy then. Robert France. I think I got that right. Good stuff. Hey, about to wrap it up. Once again, want to thank all of our great sponsors. Of course, the corporate ones, DoorDash, which we love, utilize virtually every day in this household. And then, of course, the good folks over at Wendy's, which, oh man, they got this new burger. I should have wrote it down. Can't remember the name of it, but it looks really good. And I'm going to try it tonight. I'll let you know how it is. Our friend Nikki Mays, of course, at College Sports Unlimited, Karen Johnson. Of course, you can get hold of her. Go ahead and get hold of her on Twitter at Karen Key Largo. You know Key Largo, right? Karen Key Largo. You need uniforms for your teams, any kind of sport, any type of stuff, your parents, your coaches, shirts, whatever, pullovers. They got everything in on Greg's Gear. We're going to be able to do all that for you through our good friend Karen Johnson. Scott Hammer at Cruise Planners. Any vacation. He specializes in cruises, but he can send you on any vacation. Helping Hands, Ray of Sunshine, Mark and Cindy Welch, helping mom and dad stay in their homes when they don't want to go off to assisted living. And we'll have over other sponsors every day. We'll have those graphics up around here so you can see them and click them, and it'll take you to their website and all that good stuff. And Robert says, took you 4 or 5 times. Great. Well, Robert, I can sympathize with you because I've got a name that's been mispronounced more ways than you could even imagine. Okay. Hey, that's going to do it. I want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to thank all of you. And hey, once again, great thing about this whole format is if you miss us live, you can go back anytime. Like I said, that interview we did with Golden Blue Dude about 3-4 months ago is still out there. Go watch it. It's pretty cool, actually, because he is such a good guy and so missed. So we go into football season, especially. So want to wish you guys all a great Tuesday. We'll talk to you on Monday or Wednesday. See, I need more Red Bull, don't I? Have a good one.